I'm Chris McCarty, and I play Mr. Lawrence, the cranky grandfather next door.
I'm Andrew Flaherty, I play Lori Lawrence.
I'm Abby Brown, and I play Amy March.
I'm Amy Leger, and I play Jo March.
I'm Allie Doyle, I play Aunt March and Mrs. Kirk.
I'm Justin Poznansky, and I play John Brooke.
I'm Tamar Teitelman, I play Meg March.
I'm Griffin Baker, and I play Professor Bear.
I'm Heather Hunt, and I play Beth March.
I'm Jeannie McGartland, and I play Marmee March.
And I'm Kirsten Wheeler-Hensley, and I'm the director of this fabulous cast. So I guess I can talk to you about why I chose the show. I'm actually a new faculty member to Keene, so this is my first semester here, which has been an amazing experience to kind of just dive in and start directing. But I fell in love with this show when I saw it on Broadway in 2005, starring Sutton Foster. I also, again, with Jeannie, grew up with the story. I studied it in high school, so I was very aware of the story. And also it was a little tricky because I didn't know the students here yet. So what I knew was Keene was in New England, New Hampshire. I said, perfect, that's where Little Women takes place. So I think geographically, it adds such an amazing level to people that are going to come to see the show, because it's something where, as Tamar mentioned earlier, the Orchard House, which we're all going to go on Saturday, or if this is later, we already went there. And the fact that it's an hour and a half away and we can actually see where Louisa May Alcott grew up, to me is research beyond research, and I'm just so excited, especially because our beautiful set designer Celine, she actually went to the Orchard House prior to now, and she actually based a lot of the patterns and the setup of the set design on the actual house, which is very, very historically cool in my opinion. And then also for Little Women, I knew that Keene had very strong females here. It's a very female-dominated show in a male-dominated world, and I just felt very confident that there were people here that could fill these roles. And I will tell you right now, after the audition, I literally turned to Riley and I said, we have our cast. So I was very, very excited. So that's kind of why I chose the show. So come check it out.
So Little Women is based on the book by Louisa May Alcott, and it's about the March family, which consists of the four sisters, Amy, Meg, Beth, and Jo, myself, and Marmee. And then their father is also in the war that's going on. And the story basically follows their family dealing with not having their father there and trying to find their way as this group of women in a society where it's a male-dominated area. And it's a lot about Jo writing her stories and trying to make her way in a world where men are telling her, no, you can't do that. And it's kind of like she's the first feminist. I like to think that way, that she kind of frontiered for women and helped us get where we are today, I guess, yeah. Yeah.
So each sister has a very specific journey, as do the rest of the cast. Mr. Lawrence and Lori, the neighbors next door, are two men who find themselves in these women's world, and each sister develops not only as a person by themselves, but their relationships with each other. We see the fights, we see the hardship, we see maybe they'll never speak to each other again. And I think what's really touching for me is that in modern society, there are families who split and never talk again. And this family, the March family, is really strong and battles through that, through death, through tragedy, to still be loving and caring while acknowledging their faults. And there's the love interest, which is, I think, always fun to see in a show. So there are little stories along the way. You don't know who's going to end up with whom, and there might be a couple kisses. And there's also humor, and there's strong characters, and fun stories, and dancing, and it's a story that withstands time, that I have loved for as long as I can remember. I've known the March sisters, and that now we get to pass on to a whole new world of people to enjoy.
One thing that I really like about this story as kind of a history nerd is that it's based on a true story. Louisa May Alcott wrote this story about her own life. So Jo is a representation of Louisa May Alcott, and her sisters are all representation of Louisa May Alcott's sisters. You know, some things have been changed for theatrical reasons, but for the most part, it's based on a true story, and you can even go to the March House where, or it's not the March House, the Alcott House, I should say, the Orchard House it's called, where Louisa May Alcott grew up, which is where most of the story takes place, in their house. So I think that's really cool.
I know coming into the rehearsal process, I was, when I found out that I was playing Amy, I was thinking about how I would play this young girl. I'm 24 years old and I'm going to be playing a girl that is 10 years younger than I am. So it was really interesting to talk to Kirsten and kind of interact with everybody and figure out how, and especially Riley, the movement, how this movement becomes a part of you and a part of your body, and how we transform into all of these different characters. Because I mean, we're playing people that are either much younger than us or a lot older than us. So I think in all of our aspects, we're kind of transforming into these people. And it's been really great to work with JoJo for the vocals, and Kirsten for the direction, and Riley for bringing the movement into our bodies and really harnessing these characters. And what Riley and Kirsten talked about the other day is how we all had a certain quality about the characters that we were picked for, but how do you dive deeper into that quality, and how do you really bring out that feeling that a 14-year-old might have compared to a 24-year-old. So it's just been so fun playing with these different characters and getting to play with the people that you're around, and it's really this great experimental process for me, and I can imagine it's been a great experimental process for everybody else. So it's just been so much fun.
I've always had an interest in theater and musical production and stuff like that throughout my life, and in high school I did like very minor stuff, and one musical senior year, which was Les Mis, but that's another story. But I came to Keene, and I had no really intention of doing anything theater-wise. So freshman year, I just kind of blew it off, and sophomore year, I decided to give it a shot because I am not a theater major or anything to do with that. I'm a computer science and management major. So even if you don't like theater or not a theater major, it's awesome to come check out and always audition, because just because you're not a theater major doesn't mean you might not get a role, because there's roles for everyone, and it's an amazing experience. And I've made a lot of friends through the way, and I hope you guys will like the show.